Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to be doing the algebraic expressions test. We are going to start with the easier questions and then we're going to build up from there. I have compiled different types of questions so that you are able to equip yourself for a test and basically see what types of questions you can expect. Okay, so let's start with number one. Here you are just given 4x minus 5 on brackets times by 3x. Let's start. This is distribution, so we are distributing this 3x into this bracket, right? So this is what I prefer, that I just put a highlighter here, and the reason I do that is so that you can see that these are two different terms and that the negative belongs to the 5. Right, so let's see. We will have 3x times by 4x, which will give you 12x squared. Then you have 3x times by negative 5. Can you see how clear this is once you have that? You have 3x times by negative 5, which will give you negative 15x. Right, let's look at number 2. This basically means that there is 2 of those brackets. So you have 8a plus 7b, then you have 8a plus 7b. As you can see, the signs are exactly the same here. Then now this is what you are going to do. It's up to you again if you want to do this. You can basically just put a bracket there. Not necessarily a bracket, but you can put just a line to show that these are different terms inside the brackets. Right, let's see. We have 8a times by 8a, which will give you 64a squared. And then you have 8a times by 7b with the sign, right? And then you will have 56ab. Right, now I move on to the next one, and that is timesing this 4b with these two terms. So we'll say 7b times by 8a, which will again give you 56ab. Then you have 7b times by 7b, which of course will give you 49b squared. Right, and then now we can simplify if we do see like terms. Right, let's see. Going back to my blue. Okay, let's see. So I do not have anything that has an a squared, but I do, however, see that these two terms are like terms, so we can add them together. So we will have 64 a squared plus, and then this and this will of course be 112 ab, and then we have the 49 b squared there, and that's it, guys. That's exactly what you need to know. Right, now we are moving on to number 3. Number 3, can you see number 3 is a bit complicated, but if we take our highlighter and we just put a line across there so that we can see these two terms while we are multiplying there. Yeah, let's see. We will have 9x squared times by 1 over 3x. Now, because this is a fraction, I want to make this a fraction as well so that it's easier for me to actually multiply. Now, you will know that when it comes to fraction, let's recall, we'll have 9 over 1 times by 1 over 3. And that will be 9 over 1 times 3, which will be 3. And now this can be simplified into just 3, right? So then let's see. We can then write the numbers, it's just 3, when we multiply those two fractions together, and we multiply the variables, we are going to get x cubed. Right, and then now again we'll have 9x, so we don't need that 1 anymore over 1. We're done with that. Okay, and we're also done with this. Right, let's see. 9x squared, and then we have 2x cubed. Right, what do we do here? The normal. 9 times 2, which will give you plus 18, and then x squared times by x cubed will give you x to the power of 5. we are done with this part. Now we have to deal with this part here. Okay, let me just change color. Right, so we are going to say negative 4x. If you want, we can take our highlighter. Let's see. Take our highlighter and just put a line across there so that we know that those are two different terms and they will be multiplied with this negative 4x on the outside. So, as I told you, this is a whole number and this is a fraction. Let's do it on the side. We'll have that 4 times by 1 over 2, right? If it's negative 4 times by 1 over 2, let's change this such that it's also a fraction. Then we'll say numerator times numerator, which is negative 4, over denominator times denominator, which is 2. And this, of course, will give you negative 4 over 2 will be negative 2, right? So we are going to have negative 2. And then let's deal with the variables as well. X and times by x to the power 4, which will give you x to the power of 5. Then we have again negative 4x times by negative 3x squared. That will be positive. That will be positive 12 x to the power of 3. Right. Let's just make this longer. Right, and then now we move on and just solve this. Let's see if we can simplify this. We see that there's like terms. We have 3x cubed and we have 12x cubed, and that will give you 15x cubed. Then we have 18x to the power 5, and then we have also negative 2x to the power 5. Those are like terms, so therefore we are going to get positive 16x to the power 5, and that's it. That is basically our answer. Moving on. We are looking at this. Now, if you look at this, the first one does test us the exponents part. This tests us the roots, and therefore, okay, this is just a straightforward term, right? So let's just maybe recall some of the things that they are testing us here. Laws of exponents, we have 3x to the power 3 all squared. This means that we'll have 3. And then in this case, we know that that this has an invisible 1, the exponent there. So we can basically say, okay, that means that it's 3, which is to the power of 1 times 2. Then also we have x, which is 3 times by that 2 that's on the outside, which then gives us 3 to the power of 2 times by x to the power of 6. We come back and we write this down here. So 3 squared is, of course, 9, and then x to the power of 6, then plus. Okay, now we get to the root. Okay, that is number 1, recall. Number 2, recall. Let me change the color. Okay, let's see here. What do we recall? Okay, so we have 16x squared. Okay, we can write this as square root of 16 times by the square root of x squared. As you know that when you have a term inside the brackets, under the root, you can make each number have its own root. Okay, so in this case, you have 16. Square root of 16 and then the square root of x squared. We know the square root of 16 is 4 and the square root of x squared is x. So we come and write it here, that would be 4x. Then we bring down that 8x to the power 4 that has been waiting for a long time for us to get the other answers. Now let's see. Do we have like terms? No, we don't have like terms, so therefore our answer will be this. Okay, right, let's look at number. Okay, moving on to number 5. Number 5, okay, number 5 seems a bit complicated, but we're not going to say that because we can try and figure things out using a highlighter. So look at us using a highlighter there so that we can see those are different terms inside the bracket, right? We can also use a highlighter here. Okay. Now, this is what you need to do. You know that you are going to say this times this, and then again this times that, and then again this times this, right? So let's see, what are we going to do here? So let's see, 3x times by 9x squared, we have 27x to the power of 3. Then we are going to again say 3x times by 6x, which will give you 18. Now we're getting 18 squared. Sorry about that. 3x times by 4, which will give you 12x. Now we move on, and then we use another color. Let's use black, where we are going to say -2 times by this, and then -2 again times by this, and -2 times by that. Okay, -2 times by 9x squared will give you -18x squared. Then we have -2 times by 6x, which will give you -12x. Then we have -2 times by 4, which will give you -8. Right, and then we look at like terms. I think we do have like terms here. Let's see. We use our highlighter. We have that and another -18 squared. Then we also have 12x minus 12x. So let's see, what do we have then? Right, so we are going to do this. The 27x cubed will stay as it is. Then the 18x squared minus 18x squared would be 0. And then we have 12x minus 12x will be 0. So therefore, we'll just have a -8 there, and that's our answer. Right, we're moving on to number 6. Number 6. Okay, for number 6, we have this interesting question here, which is divided by 3ab. I will not write it like this. Guys, there's 2 methods for this one, but I will just use the one which I feel will be quite easier for you in case you don't know how to factorize. You have 15ab squared plus 3a squared bc cubed minus 27abc. Now, I don't like this 3ab like this, so I'm just going to do that and say all divided by 3ab. Now this will help me then to say each term in the numerator will take its own denominator, right? So we have 15ab squared over 3ab. Then we have plus 3a squared bc cubed over 3ab. Then we have minus 27abc over 3ab. Guys, this comes from when we say if there's the same denominator, then we can add the numerator. So it's basically like a reverse of that. Now, let's see. Guys, this is where the trouble starts. Okay. Now, if you look at this, we have 15 divided by 3, right? So 3 goes here once and 3 goes here 5 times. Okay, and then the A and the A cancel, and then the B cancels, and you only left with just one B. So what do we have left here? We're only left with 5B. Okay. Then again, we come here, and I'm going to use my highlighter again. So the 3 and the 3 cancel. Then here the A cancels with that A squared, but I am going to be left with just A. The B will cancel, and then I will be left with C to the power of 3 or C cubed. Then I go on and write this, that I will be left with at the top plus AC cubed. Then again, I have this. I go back with my highlighter and say, so 3 goes here once, but 3 goes here 9 times. And then the A and the A 4, the B and the B 4, and then all that I'm left with the C. Right? So that means now what is left is minus. Don't forget the minus. Minus 9, and then here at the top we're left with just C, and that's it. That's our answer. Now we come here. Okay, Here also, I don't like this format. It's going to give me a problem because the number here is a fraction, but then AB, I see that is on the side. I want to represent in terms of a fraction. So recall. So if I have half ABC, this is the same as saying half times by ABC. Yes, then we can also make it as a fraction. So in that case, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So hence I have ABC over 2. Guys, I'm explaining this because I find that even with my learners, that they would ask, why is the ABC always going to the top? Okay, so you don't have to always do this. You don't have to do this, right? All that I need you to know is that when you have maybe even x on the side next to a fraction, know that it just goes to the top, okay? With whatever number that's at the top. Even if it was 3 over 2, then it would be 3ABC over 2, okay? So you will have ABC over 2, and then in brackets you have 14a squared b over c plus you have 8ac cubed over b minus 22c cubed b cubed over a. Then you close your bracket. Now, it looks a bit ugly, sorry. Let me just try and fix that. We try and fix 22c cubed b cubed over a. Looks better. Right. Now, come with your highlighter if you feel that you will have a bit of a problem trying to understand what is happening inside the bracket. Okay, so I come with my highlighter and just separate that. Now it looks better. Then I can say, okay, now let me start multiplying. So this will multiply the first term, then the second term, then the third term. So let's start with the first term. There's 14 times 1, which is just 14, because remember there's a 1 that's a default there. Then we have a times a squared, which is a cubed, b times b, which is b squared, and then don't forget the c, over 2c. Then this times that, which will then be 1 times 8 will give you just 8. And then you have a times a, which is a squared. And then you have b. There's no other b, so I'm just going to put this down here. And then you have c times c cubed, which is c to the power of 4, over 2 times b, which is 2b. Then comes the numerator times the numerator here. So have negative 22. And then we don't have an a that will multiply another a here. So we're just going to write it down like this as a. And then, guys, we have b and also b cubed here, which is b to the power of 4. How lovely. And c, which will be c to the power of 4 over 2 times a, which is just 2a, right? And we can simplify this because, come to a highlighter, this 2 goes here once and 2 goes here 7 times. And then just c and c will cancel off. So what am I going to be left with here? I'm going to be left with just 7a cubed b squared. Then I go again with my highlighter. So 2 goes here once, 2 goes here 4 times. And then I don't have anything to cancel, but the b and the b cancel. So that means I will be left with plus 4. Then I have an a squared there, a squared, and then c to the power of 4. Again, go with my highlighter and then say 2 goes here once, and then 2 goes here 11 times. And then the a and the a cancel, so I'll be left with b to the power 4 and c to the power 4. So let's write that down. So I have a minus 11, b to the power 4, and c to the power of 4. Anything that I'm forgetting? No, that is my final answer, guys. Right, so that's my final answer.